guys. I hope you guys are doing well. My first time here. I was just about to go live just like a few minutes ago. And my neighbor, I was ready to push the live button, like to go like live, right? And then right when I was getting close, I was getting like right like this. And then I hear ding dong. And I went, maybe not so fast. Maybe not so fast. I hope everybody's doing great. Hey guys, sorry I'm coming to you guys so late. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I didn't notice it until a friend had pointed it out, but my side of my jaw has been a little swollen here lately, and apparently I do have an abscess. We're thankful, okay? When I say we're thankful, I'm thankful that it's not painful or anything. It's just swollen, and like my gum is like a little swollen in there. So anyways, after today's show, I don't know if it was that or if it was just the worry from that. I don't know. I was exhausted. So I didn't go I didn't go live right away. So I'm sorry. This is my first live for you guys, and it's the afternoon. So much for breaking. So much for your breaking morning news. So sorry, guys. Sorry. Anyways, before we get started on Sebastian, I got you guys on here. I'm going to take just a few minutes to go over just a couple of other things. First of all, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Rex Heuermann. Rex Heuermann is the Long Island serial Killer. Okay, I don't want to get on here and start getting in trouble with community standards and stuff like that. So we'll just, I don't know, so you guys get it, okay? He's not a really nice guy. He has a facade, right? And he was able to do terrible things for a while, and they believe that they've got the guy, and his name's Rex Heuermann. If you guys heard of Gilgo Beach, serial, unaliver, okay? For all the people that are obviously offended by the K word, okay? Don't get it, but hey, word salad, right? Anyways, apparently they went back to his house. They're executing a search warrant on his house, and see, there's some really weird stuff with this. And the really weird stuff is that apparently Asa Ellerup, his wife's, her DNA was found on them somehow, and it could have just been transferred from one of these ladies being in the house while she was away. Because according to everything I've read, apparently they don't think Asa is involved at all, because she was always gone when these girls wound up missing. So she was on like a trip or visiting family or something like that. Well, long story short, it sounds like that there's something else they're looking for, and they're going to go get it. DNA was found on the pizza box, I believe it was. Yes, that's kind of but you see, this is the thing that gets me with him. Is that they waited so long. Like, they found these girls, 14 years ago? Something like that, well over a decade ago. Something was about to happen for them to make that arrest right then, because out the gate, you guys can fact check this for sure, but out the gate, they said they weren't prepared to make the arrest just yet. So something triggered that arrest. That means they were either listening to him, he was about to set up one of these meets, and they knew there was something else going on there that triggered that arrest of him right there on the Manhattan street. I think he was exhibiting some of the same behaviors that they had seen the pattern for, and knew that he was about to strike again. I truly believe that's what happened. Oh, Leopard, we're just taking a little detour to the Rex Heuermann updates, because I've got a few updates before we get into Sebastian Rogers. So the other update is this guy right here, and I'm going to have to come back to him, because to be honest with you, this is a case that I did cover at one point, and there's 3 women that are deceased, and I think this might actually be something potentially a little bigger than what it is, so I'm kind of monitoring this whole case, but I covered this quite like a significant, and when I say significant, I mean a significant amount of time ago. And I don't know what really happened in the case, but either way, I digress. This is the one that I'm going to read right now. This is an avocation. This is a strange case, okay? So this boy right here, his name's Noah Bush, okay? He's an 8-year-old. He's from Georgia. And he was found, let me see if I can move this around just ever so slightly so we can see his face a little bit better. I think I'm just going to have to get my big old fat head out of the way. I didn't crop it. I should have pushed this up a little further, but I didn't. So I'm just going to lean over to the side because I want everybody to see this boy's face. So this is talking to all my Georgia family out there, the Bullhorn Buddy Club out there in Georgia. We've got a child. He's not missing. They did find him. He was found drowned and in a burrow pit. It's like something that they have on construction sites that they fill with building material and stuff like that. And so he had no shoes on at the time, he had no shoes on. Okay, yeah, well, Peachy, this is something that's a little weird. I think the reason why this was sent to me is because I believe that the family might feel a little foul play-y in this case. And I can understand why. He had no shoes on. Apparently he took it off as he's walking over, or what they say walking over. Let me just read. I'm going to read one article to you, and then we're going to read a much larger article that I think kind of explains it a little better. So this is just the kind of the shorter version of this case. But this is why I think people are concerned that there may be some foul play, and he's 8 years old. I mean, we're not talking about, we're talking about a baby here. We're not talking about a teenager. We're talking about an 8-year-old boy that a family is absolutely, utterly devastated and literally has no freaking clue what just happened. I can't explain it their day is normal, and boom, they're missing a kid, So let me just read this for you so everybody's kind of on the same page with his case. This is an 8-year-old who vanished in South Georgia, was later found deceased in a burrow hole. According to WJCL, Noah Bush of Jessup was last seen in Wayne County around 5 p.m. Wednesday. His remains were recovered Thursday morning. According to Wayne County deputies, Bush's remains were found in a construction burrow pit after he drowned, okay? Wayne County Sheriff's Office said Bush took off his shoes and wandered around a no trespassing sign before stepping into the hole. A burrow pit is a hole dug deep in the ground to provide fill material for the construction project. It kind of does make a little sense to me. I think what could have happened, if there's no nefarious stuff going on, is that when he got around there, sometimes you don't even, they're big, but you don't notice. It makes me wonder if he got close to the edge and the edge gave and sent him down to probably where, I have to think that that hole has water and debris, it could kind of, if you hit it just right, or there's some different types, it will knock you out. So even if it's only 2 inches of water and you're under debris, we don't know what that pit looks like. But, that's not nefarious. But being out there, and especially if he was out there with some friends doing something, stupid. But it's the whole drowning, part that's got me, because I don't know what kind of pit. I know about these pits. I've seen them before. None of them so big like it's, deeper than a pool. You know what I'm saying? But... And some of them I've never even seen that deep. Some of them aren't that deep at all. But they are large holes that they pull material out of. They've got to build. There's different types of stuff. But either way, that's kind of what happened. Now I'm going to just read. This is the article I'm going to read now, because this kind of enlightens, I think, because that article there didn't kind of give any reason why this is showing up on the Bullhorn Betty channel, right? But this one I think kind of does. It's a little more long-winded, so bear with me. 8-year-old Noah Bush's aunt says the family is devastated after the boy went missing Wednesday afternoon. His remains were found not far from his home on Mill Creek Circle around 8:30 in the morning Thursday morning. While investigators have not released any new information, Bush's family says community support has helped them during the tragedy, especially his mother. This is something that I would never be able to say that I can just tell her it's going to be okay. I can't do that. I think the more that the community reaches out and the more people come around, it's definitely helping her stay sane right now, she says, or the aunt says. So, you know, the mother completely, utterly devastated by her child missing and you know, and then finding out this news, completely and utterly devastated to the point where she's almost insane. And the people coming around is really helping her mental health wise throughout this tragedy. Wayne County Sheriff says he does not suspect foul play in this case, but says the investigation is ongoing. Noah's aunt and second cousin describe a surreal experience as they watch canines and neighbors search for their young relative. They said Noah had lived along Mill Creek Circle for a few months and went to play before going missing around 5 p.m. Wednesday. Wayne County Sheriff's Office says more than 10 agencies helped search before eventually finding the 8-year-old's body in a pit used for construction material not far from his home around 8:30 in the next morning. Noah's relatives describe him as an outgoing, energetic kid who loved sports. They call the incident unreal as they now come together to grieve. No one wants to be doing this, but this was me when I was 8. This was everybody when they were a teenager going to play. I mean, absolutely. But we came home. There's no reason Noah shouldn't have come home. So there you have it, guys. We don't know what's going on in this case with Noah Bush, but it was sent to me by one of our audience members, and I looked into it, and it just has a little tinge of uncomfortability, and I thought that maybe throwing it up here and putting it in front of everybody and saying, hey, if you've seen this kid in the area that they're discussing, or you know this kid, or you saw anything out of the ordinary the day that he went missing last Wednesday afternoon around 5-ish according to his family, 8:30 in the morning, Thursday morning, he was no longer. So I think if you have any questions or any answers, please, send those over to Wayne County Sheriff's Department. So that's really it. And if you have any information, please share it. Please share it. The family needs some answers. This could just be an accident where a kid, shouldn't have been playing in a construction site and got hurt. But we can't look at that because, let's face it, there are some things that don't necessarily feel very comfortable with this story. So we'll just watch it, we'll monitor it, we'll keep an eye on it. You guys do your part. If you have seen anything, you hear anything. This is Noah Bush from Wayne County, Georgia. Noah Bush for Wayne County, Georgia. All right, guys, so now we're going to get back to Sebastian Rogers. He's the 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and has not been seen or heard from since. We were hopeful when there was a spotting of a young boy matching Sebastian's description seen in North Carolina, and we found out very early on that it was not him, but a very similar, almost carbon copy of what Sebastian looks like with a few nuances. So last night I got to watch, I don't know if anybody else did, but me personally, I got to watch a few live streams of Sebastian's vigil last night, and I gotta say, I was in tears, not tears. I mean, it's sad that we're here, okay? Don't get me wrong. It's sad that we're here and that this boy has not been brought home yet and that we have to do a vigil. But it was really sweet to see so many people caring for a family and a child they never met. And I got to tell you that that is just, it is just beautiful, to see the community come together like that for the greater good. A young boy that disappeared, even despite all the craziness going on, everybody was able to put that aside and come together for the greater good. And I just thought that that was a beautiful tribute to Sebastian Rogers about what the true crime community can do and be, in my opinion, even though a lot of great people came together to put that event on, some that were part of the true crime community and some that were not. Someone on the job site has a background of child crimes. He was hanging around when child walked. Interesting, Blue Princess. I never thought about that. I never thought about that. The Proudfoots heard all of them last night. Yes, they did. You know what was so sad is I found out that this was put on basically by a third party. It didn't have anything to do, this was just truly for Sebastian Rogers, and this group had reached out to Sebastian's family, both sides, the Rogers side as well as the Proudfoot side, and nobody got back to him. And then when they circled around back to Seth, he decided he was going to go because he was waiting for Chris to decide, because they chose the church, so Chris and Katie could be there and do a vigil for Sebastian. And the only way that he was willing to do that is if it was at a church. The only way Chris Proudfoot would be willing to do that would be if he was at church. And for this one, he chose not to, so they decided to do it at the school. And it was good. The city, I think it's the city commissioner or the county, one of the county commissioners or the city council members. I can't remember who it was. It might have been a Hendersonville council member, which is voted on in the city limits. Either way, he was out there supporting this, and it's nice. It's always good to see a politician be out there for a cause as a missing child in their community. It's just sad that more don't participate. But thank God the ones that do, because it does put them on a more of a larger platform politically as well, right? Politically as well, and other people see it. Yes, I did. So happy to see so many came out to show support for Sebastian. Absolutely. No sound. What does this say? I find it so sad KP didn't show up. CP said on Clues last night that he did like the people. He did or did not? He did like the people. I don't understand. Well, maybe the reason why he didn't show up, honestly, or they didn't show up, is probably he feels so attacked by the public. At this point, it might be truly that there are not wanting that ridicule. I mean, we have to think of it like that. There are some people, I don't think people in situations like this give the people of the true crime community enough credit, because, we're time and place people. We don't bring our BS to things like, or shouldn't, bringing things like that to vigils. The vigils are there for the child, candle lights, these type of things, rallies that come together for these children, and there literally should be not 1 ounce of drama at one of these events. And if there is, shame on whoever creates it, because it has nothing to do about me, doesn't have nothing to do about you, has nothing to do about the parents. These type of things are only and wholly for the victim and the victim only. And so anybody that does stuff like that, which, I mean, obviously that didn't happen. Everybody was there. It seems like everybody was there enjoying themselves and honoring this boy. That's what it looked like. That's really what it looked like. And Terry Lynn, God bless her, she went down the aisle. Anybody standing there, she thanked every one of them. You heard her just go down the aisle. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you, thank you, God bless you, thank you, God bless you. And it was really sweet, because you should do that. I mean, these people didn't have to do that. I mean, it's sweet and stuff that they did. And trust me, they do not want to, they don't expect a thank you by any stretch of the imagination. But it's always nice to hear it. Has he been found? Nurse, no, he has not been found. He's been missing since February 26, 2024. Okay? I wish these things would put his face in here, right? Hold on, let me find a better photo. We need to have his face. I want his face. I'm not doing this just to, there we go. This one, there we go, there. I want to have his face. His beautiful face. So, hold on a second. Good gracious. I don't know why it's not doing this. It's not letting me go down. There we go. Let me get back to your question. Backyard of the house. I think this thing pulled up on me. Give me just a second. Let me find my place back, and then we'll start talking again. That's right. We were talking about CP not attending. I just think it's people. I think when people start, beating up on them, they don't know how to take it. And I think the true crime community is better than that. I don't think that if they showed up there, we would have given them a hard time. Actually, to be honest with you, I'd be thankful to see them. I would, to be honest with you. I think that's the one problem with the public, is that they're not seeing them. I mean, I'm sure people would look at them, and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're here. But I honestly believe that people would do what they do and be decent human beings. Obviously, they're decent human beings as is, because they just went to this rally, right? So I truly believe that they would have been decent human beings and showed honor, love, and respect to both of them if they had shown. But again, this is just another point to make, that we've got parents, hanging out on channels that are not deemed in the best light, on social media, in addition to not showing up for any searches, any, posting of flyers, or any vigils. Hey, Beach, it's nice to see you, love. It's a little concerning, to say the least. Everybody likes to point out, listen, I'm allowed, and it's not, I don't know if it's here. Maybe it is here. I don't really read the comments. I try to read as many comments as I possibly can, but, I don't, there's a lot that I miss. But I have my opinions on what I feel happened based upon my personal experiences, my experience covering cases like this, and a whole host of other reasons. It doesn't mean that my opinion is correct by any stretch of the imagination. It doesn't mean that my opinion holds water or anything like that. And people are like, you're attacking this family. No, I've said my piece. I think everybody knows where my personal opinion is on where this case is. Now, I have maintained the integrity by saying, this is how I feel, right? I'm not leading my audience blindly into my narrative of any stretch of the imagination. Could reporting be slighted in one area or another after going back and looking? Yeah, there is some slighting, because I polarize more information that show the Proudfoot's inconsistencies. But again, that's factual information, and those are things that we should be polarizing, I polarize law enforcement's inconsistencies, such as the reports that we did. If you guys haven't had an opportunity, I think it's the last video I did, I cover the discrepancies on whether that he disappeared on the 25th or the 26th, and who had last contact with him. That's all over the place in the official reports, if you really want the honest truth. So if we don't even have official reports mimicking one another, how are we all supposed to be out here explaining this stuff to you guys? So there is that. There's some more stuff. So I wanted to go over Noah, and then there was some other comments from the audience that I also wanted to go over with you guys as well, because, I did send myself that. Maybe we will go over the Oregon man. Maybe we will go over, because the Oregon man that I put up here, that's a weird case. I think that's going to be something a little more, because he's already got 3, women under him. And so I have a funny feeling there's more, because he seems like another Rex Heuermann, if you ask me. So a lot of stuff has been going on, little sauce behind the scenes with, Sebastian Rogers. Not the sauce that we've been having, though, which is good. I like sauce. I like sauce when it's good sauce. I don't like the toxic sauce, right? I'm not a toxic sauce type of person, but I do like good sauce, and this is good sauce, y'all. It's good sauce. So there was something that was said, and somebody pulled the transcript, and it looks like it is from YouTube. So it's a transcript off of one of our YouTube lives on a creator's platform that had, it looks like, potentially Tony Mathis, the new spokesperson for Seth Rogers. And one of the comments that Seth was saying, and this was talking about Seth. Let me just open this up and I'll read you the post. I'll read you the entire post. This is what it says. It's from Paulette. And it says, this is what Seth Rogers has said. Help me understand if you know why he's still missing. So it says, and this is where it kind of gets a little, it pulls at my personal heartstrings. It says, I have my ideas, I just don't have the resources I need to track it. So pretty much, and it cut it off there. So it was talking about where, I don't know if it was asked like where he thought Sebastian was or if he knew where Sebastian was. And he was like, his intuition, he has an inkling. This is what Seth says. He has an inkling. And his inkling, where Sebastian could be, I have my ideas. I just don't have the resources I need to track it. So it's been kind of, making people wonder, what did he mean by that? What does Seth think happened? We know one of his possibilities because that was leaked on the Nancy Grace show. But where does he think Sebastian is? What resources does he need, right? We're the true crime community. Whatever resource he needs, I am absolutely 100% certain we'd either find somebody to help with it or we would raise the money to get whatever is needed to get it done. So if anybody has a plug in, maybe that's what you guys need to ask. Where does he think he is and what resources does he need, right? Where does he think he is and what resources does he need? And if he truly has a good idea where this boy is, we're bringing in the damn cavalry, right? Like, I want to know. I'd like to know this. So we'll find out. There's not a doubt in my mind that we will find out what over time as this case, because let's face it, mainstream media, I'm hoping that more news organizations, more mainstream picks this case up. It is deserving of mainstream media. This case is deserving of mainstream media's attention and their resources for this case. People don't realize mainstream media has a massive amount of resources that could be deployed in this case. And a lot of that is in form of, getting stuff from law enforcement and having the resources when law enforcement fights them to get attorneys and stuff to get it, And that's what's missing in this case. We need more national news to come into this case and really pick up this ball because they've got the pockets. They've got the pockets to get this stuff, this information and to really help this family. The police are his resources, not necessarily because the police are not giving anybody anything. They're not giving Seth anything. The only people that are saying police are talking to them are Chris and Katie. And, they're not saying they're calling into the sheriff. They're saying basically the sheriffs are calling them. That's never a good sign this far into it. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says. That's not a good sign for me at all. But I digress. So here's something else. Make sure we got that. Okay. I just can't get out of my head. Seth said he doesn't have the resources to go get Sebastian. Like I said, this was a conversation that's been going on. People are kind of in tune with this conversation. Says he doesn't have the resources to get Sebastian, that he knew where he was. He had GoFundMe money, and people who do that have resources to get him. I don't understand the confusion. Well, from my understanding, the GoFundMe is locked down. I don't know how much. I think that if they are pulling money from it, it's on an as-needed basis because you can't be taxed on money unless you get it. So they acquired, from my understanding, like $25,000. that's a huge tax implication for a man that doesn't have a whole lot of money. So you had to look at that aspect of it that many people don't look at, and protect himself. So he kind of, he wanted to get like a nonprofit or something that has better tax benefits before he collects any of the money. So, like I said, that's my understanding. Things may have changed since the last time I heard that or understood that, but that's my understanding. So, if people want to know why they're not really pushing the GoFundMe, it's because of that. They haven't really collected, which is funny that people are like, look at them, look at this. That was all collected before. They haven't really done anything a whole lot with collecting funds with this new team. It seemed like that was the focus of the other team. So here's something that a little food for thought. This was interesting. I like this, and this is going to make you guys kind of think. So if you guys would like, I'm not going to be able to watch. I say Seth said he had his sister close the. Yeah, exactly. Sister Star, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, people are making. They're just throwing stuff at the, and I don't understand it. But it seems like when I got up today, it seems like everybody's kind of. It looks like the ship is turning. The ship is correcting. It sounds like we're getting back to being focused on this case and on the victim and on the people that could have had a hand in this. So I'm very appreciative and thankful for that, if nothing more. Everybody kind of, okay, we had a little spat, so what? Dust ourselves off and come back together, right? And I hope that that's kind of where we're at right now. So, I'm just going to do my part. I like I said, I can't control anybody else, but I definitely can control my own behavior. And so this is what I want to do. I know who I feel has more information and not saying something, and that's who I'm going to focus on until I get my answers satisfied. So, and those people for me in my channel, we do talk about other stuff, but for me in my channel, it's more directed toward Chris and Katie. And I'm not gonna dispute that one bit. And if that's not your focus, then come over here for information whenever you want that side of information. And go over on your side where you get the other side of information related to Seth or being mean to him or whatever that makes people happy this day and age. After much prayer and thought about this case, I would like to make a plea to Katie. Okay, so this is going to be a little, I'm going to try to say this as sweetly as possible because this is somebody's words and I truly feel like they were speaking from the heart. Okay? She probably will not read it, but I have it in my heart to say this. Katie, I believe Sebastian was conceived in love. I believe at one point in time you loved Seth. I know that Seth has let things slip out about Sebastian, and I also know those things hurt you. But I truly believe he's desperate in this entire terrible situation. I ask please, as an act of human decency, to accept his olive branch, Katie. I know you are broken as well. To have a conversation with Seth would be good for the both of you. I'm not saying welcome him in with open arms. I'm saying speak to him. You have shut out the world, and that is absolutely your right to do. But there was one time love there, Katie. There is strength in numbers. And Chris, I know you have a temper, but I also believe you understand the concept of love. I have seen it in the way you look at Katie. Please allow this man a conversation. He is simply overwrought and overwhelmed. I know you can understand if you were wearing his shoes. I know there are differences between you, but just please set those aside for a time. Just a conversation. I thank you if you do it. Take the time to read this. And to all the people in the feed, and then she goes into, I'm not interested in the bashing, and that's been becoming a common theme here. If you do not have an opinion of somebody else's, people are just going to the mattress and being nasty to people. I'm going to tell you guys, like I told my YouTube channel this morning, we do not engage in that kind of behavior. I personally am not engaging in that kind of behavior. Even if yesterday you were engaging in that kind of behavior, today is a new day. People are entitled to their opinions. You have no control over anybody else in this world, just like nobody in this world has control over you. You have control over your own behavior and your behavior alone. If you choose to respond and respond poorly, you're choosing to make that decision to spread that venom. You're choosing to write that comment instead of scrolling on by. You're choosing to bring that problem onto yourself. So this is what I ask for people to choose today. I ask people to choose to be the bigger adult, to choose to rise above, because whenever you choose not to, you're putting yourself down to another person's standard. And you've got to decide, is that your standard or are you well above that standard? For me, I feel when people start insulting people, that's my exit stage right. I don't insult people. I will, and I can. Don't get it twisted. But here, I have control over my own behavior as well. And I have chosen that this is not going to be engaged on my channels, and nobody has. Everybody's been pretty much respectful about that. So I do appreciate that, but I just want to let you know we have bigger fish to fry. We have a 15-year-old boy that's missing. I mean, we just talked about an 8-year-old boy that's in Georgia that wound up in unusual circumstances, that needs some attention and needs some love and needs, some sluice kind of helping the family out over there. So whatever you guys do, just do your part. We're still on the drumbeat of Sebastian Rogers. There's a lot here. I've got to go through some interviews, go back through some interviews. If you guys hear anything in interviews, I know that a lot of people probably are like me. When you start hitting a hard wall or you start getting stumped, it's like, okay, let's go back to the drawing board. What did we miss? Let's hear this stuff again. There's something here. Like, I feel like there's something there. I feel like there's a slip somewhere that we're missing on one of these interviews. And so I think we all need to go back and start studying those interviews and start paying attention for, did they say anything under their breath that we didn't quite pay attention to before, that we need to find out what was said? Because I feel like, when they're in these interviews, they have a cohesive message, but sometimes there's questions thrown in that they weren't prepared for. And I feel like they would have said something under their breath. And so I am really trying very, 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 very hard to find out if that happened. But obviously with the amount of conversations now to be had, it's becoming a more and more of a task to do. So there is that. There is that. So guys, the ones that are just coming in this afternoon, right? This afternoon, this is the 8-year-old boy, unusual circumstances from Wayne County, Georgia. His family reported him missing. He left his home around 5 o'clock to go play. Apparently, he took his shoes off outside of a construction site and went inside past a no trespassing sign and wound up deceased in a big hole after he was drowned. So I don't know if he would drown in the pit or if he, there's a lot of unanswered questions for this, but if you saw this child anywhere, who this child is, or you've seen anything unusual, please reach out to Wayne County Sheriff's Department and they will, take your information. Lastly, the planned vigil for Sebastian Rogers was a beautiful event, in my opinion, a very beautiful event. That was, a lot of people showed up. A lot of people showed up to honor Sebastian, and it was very pretty. It was pretty. It was pretty neat. It was, a lot of people that don't know each other rallying together. I believe T-Reb from YouTube purchased the food for everyone. So it was a lot of people came together for that, and what a truly an honor to see everybody come together for the sake of a 15-year-old autistic boy that they did not know. So I just wanted to give a shout out to all the people that had, over 200 motorcycles. So for all the people that, wanted to know, participated, helped out, volunteered, contributed money, contributed food, how all those things were going on. It really is, it was just beautiful. It was beautiful to see. So for all those, God bless you for the people that put their hands in that. So, all right, guys, that's all we have. We'll come back a little later for this guy right here. This guy right here, I don't like him. I covered him early. I covered him, I want to say last year sometime, and I can't remember when, because when I saw his victims, I recognized his victim's face. Believe it or not, when I came across the story, I did not recognize his face. I did not recognize his face at all, but as soon as I seen his victims' faces, I knew I covered them. I remember them. So when I come back later this evening, one of the conversations we will be talking about is this story right here. So we will be back soon. I will talk to you guys. I think so. He's got 3 under him right now. There might be more, Darla. And we need to find out where he's been. He's like another Rex Heuermann. So, oh, hey, Joey, nice to see you. Yeah. So we're going to be, potentially, I mean, he's got 3. Rex has got 4, right? He's got 3 and Rex has got 4. So I think we're dealing with the same type of animal here. His name, hold on one second. I wasn't going to do this. Maybe we'll just go ahead and do it now. I was going to wait until the next one to do it on, but we'll just, if we're going to go through all of this, I might as well go ahead and just read you what was going on. So this is Jesse Calhoun. These are the girls right here. Let me find the girls. Hold on, give me just a second. These 2 girls here, I've covered them. I've covered them on my show. That's how, I don't remember covering him specifically, so it might have been before they found him. But I remember their faces. I know for a fact I've seen their faces and I've covered them. Now, I don't think I've covered them in depth like I'm doing for Rex Heuermann. I'm covering, I covered them like I did for the 8-year-old, where we just give them like, a few minutes to express their case and to let people know what's going on. And so this is what the article says. It says an Oregon man charged with the unaliving of 3 women who were found deceased under suspicious circumstances. An Oregon man has been charged in connection with the suspicious unaliving of 3 women. In a news release, May 17th, and I can't pronounce, I've never been out, Multnomah County. I don't know where these names come from. They are just atrocious. No offense if you're from the county. I'm talking about, phonically, hooked on phonics wise. They're atrocious for me personally. Announced that the grand jury has indicted Jesse Calhoun on the unaliving for Charity Lynn Perry, 24, Bridget Leanne Webster, and Jonah Speaks, 32, each found unalived under suspicious circumstances. See, I only knew the 2 girls. The 2 girls that I showed you were the only 2 girls that I covered at the time. So that means there was a 3rd person. So yeah, we could be having another serial unaliver out here. It might be him. So we need to find out where he's lived. He's in Oregon, which Oregon, I don't know. Oregon's a weird, no offense to Oregon residents out there, but Oregon is a little odd, to say the least, especially in their crimes. And they got some, I've heard some pretty twisted stuff coming out of Oregon. I guess we could say that about every state, but I'm talking about some really sadistic crap has come out of Oregon. Some real sadistic stuff. I have from Washington State. Yeah, exactly. So that's it. We'll go more into depth with this particular case on another live, but this man right here might be something. Like I said, when I cover these cases of, just in like a little spotlight on a case here and a little spotlight on a case there, you never know which one's going to circle back. And this is just one that circled back. And I remember the victims, but I don't. Happy Monday. It's nice to see you, Love Bug. But this is one that circled back. I think this might be something a little bit more, It really might be. We need to get in Jesse's background. Where else did anybody else disappear around him? Right? It doesn't. I mean, how do you go from going from nobody to three? It doesn't compute in our brains. So, anyways, guys, rock it out with your coffee beans out. Do not forget Sebastian Rogers. I also want to discuss another one is Layla Santinello. If you guys are familiar with Layla Santinello, please go over, look at her mom, Jen Santinello. She's pretty big here on TikTok. Go over there, show her some love, and pass some Layla Santinello stuff out. She's still missing. She's been missing since last year, June 27th, 2023. We're coming up on her year milestone. And it's not a milestone any family wants to deal with, but it's the milestone that we're dealing with. And so we really want to do a push to get Layla Santinello's face out there in our world and talking about her again. She's out there in Tennessee. She is also missing. As soon as we get my car, we're going to go look for both of them. We're going to be going to look for both of them. So rock it out with your coffee beans out, guys. God bless. Don't forget, keep passing Sebastian Rogers' face and name out. Just stay out of the drama, guys. Just stay out of the drama. Let's keep it to the facts and keep it above board, right? Keep it above board. God bless you. Have an amazing Monday, and we'll see you soon.